Imagine a world where luxury meets adventure and every journey feels like a masterpiece. Welcome aboard Motor Yacht Unbridled, an exceptional charter experience where every detail is tailored to your desires. From thrilling water sports to moments of pure relaxation, every day brings new horizons. Step into the future of chartering aboard Unbridled. Available now.
And I think we're live. I'm not the best at pressing all these technology buttons. Better at the bridge of Motor Yacht Unbridled, which is a 191 Trinity available in Alaska at the moment. We did Costa Rica, and honoured to have beside me Marshall and Zara from South Africa. Correct? Yeah. Whereabouts?
Cape Town.
Cape Town.
Right.
Cape Town. Popular part of the world.
Yeah. Bottom of Africa.
Bottom of the world. I'm from Byron Bay. I'm pretty biased. Anyway, today we're just going to have a captain's chat on the bridge. We're in Juno, Alaska. We had some guests that just departed. Pretty exciting trip we just did. We saw some amazing things. But the guest highlight, one of them, except the lovely service by Zara, was it was the best guest video they've ever seen in their career. Yeah. And they've had a lot of yachts and a lot of charter experience. So I wanted to take this moment and just kind of pick your brains a little bit in how you come up with these things, because full transparency, as a captain, I don't know. I pretend I know a little bit about a lot, but I've really let Marshall kind of work with the skills he's got and his experience to try and navigate it. And I think we had one time and I recommended something, and I said, well, that's not the flow. And I'm like, I've got things to learn. So introduce yourselves if you want. Just chill. We're on the bridge.
I'm Marshall.
It's a good time to be on the bridge.
Yeah,
There's tough times in yachting on the bridge, but this is a good time.
Yeah, it's a rainy day outside here in Juno, as it is every day. It's a great day to be here. Nice and warm outside. We're inside.
Yeah, we're all nice and cozy in here.
Yeah.
And yourself, Zara? Introduce yourself. RC stories.
Yeah, well, we kind of do RC stories together, but I do most of the editing.
Yeah.
So that's the cool, funky Instagram trendy stuff.
Yeah, she's the wizard on Instagram.
Yeah, I edit the reels. Marshall does more guest stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
So the guest stuff, talk me through it. You've got a charter or an owner trip or something that's coming up. The first thing I see you do is you kind of, the way you approach the guests is quite nice. Because there's a lot of people try to be at these guest videos, and now in yachting I'm seeing people outsource.
Yeah.
You know, which is great from an editing point of view, time-wise, but how do you navigate that initial, you know?
I think it's always tricky because obviously these people coming on board are high-end clients, and you never know how they might react to the camera being stuck in their face, especially at first interaction. So I always kind of like try and ease into it, not like kind of be straight there at it, and kind of be on the sidelines a little bit to the start, and then slowly integrate into what they're doing. And
so it does evolve during the trip.
Yeah, definitely. And by the end of it, I mean, I'm super comfortable, depending on the client, super comfortable just like taking pictures and having dinner or
but it does take you that couple of days.
Yeah.
Because you've also, the realistic, you've got the captain saying, pictures, arrival, content. So there's a tough thing to navigate. And you've also got a first officer and a bosun saying, tie the lines up, get the boats ready, get the tenders ready. So it is a full-time job. I see that, but depends on the size of the yacht and the program. But what you pulled off was exceptional. So some of the questions I got now, what's your creative process? How do you kind of, once you've got all this content, what's the timeline? Like, talk me through how long a video should be, maybe. That could help everyone watching.
Well, I kind of just, depending on how much content you get and how much good content you get, that'll obviously determine how long the video is. But I generally just kind of start every day just compiling all the clips that I get in the day, and then at the end of the day kind of organize it and kind of make selects, like the segments of the actual videos that I take, and those parts that I would maybe want to be in the video. I kind of get that all together and then do that every day. So by the time I actually start making the full video, then I can just pick and choose those moments. I just put it together kind of chronologically. in terms of like how long the video would be, I would just start doing that, and then I would pick a song, and then according to how long that song I just kind of try and how much content. Yeah, like if the song's 350, which what it was last charter, kind of try and finish it at 3 minutes 50 out of it.
Okay, and you adapt the song to the client. Or the Costa Rica one, that was awesome.
Yeah.
Like I really loved that. You know, that was a good video. And now I've got an Alaska one. The Newport Boat Show was an epic. There's a lot to it. In terms of, we'll talk about in terms of timing, and we'll talk about some of the equipment, if you'll introduce some of the equipment.
Yes.
Timing wise, how long does it take for captains out there have to understand it? The chief officers have to understand this, that when you've got the videographer, who's not a photographer, there's the videographer, photographers, who else is there? Editors, I guess.
Yeah.
It's a whole world out there that I don't really understand yet. I'm just good at talking, I think. So if you're a videographer or a photographer, respect both, and you're taking content, let's say you have a days of content, how long would you like to edit? Be honest.
Yeah. Well,
We're going to get half of it anyway. You know?
again, like it depends on every day as I make those selects. Making those selections of the clips doesn't actually take the time it takes to organize through all the media. That's what really takes time.
To get the right shot of the smile.
Yeah. So then by the time it's like you start making the actual video, it's just like
Cool.
It's like quick, you know. But it all depends on how much content to get and stuff. But I guess ideally we've been working on like kind of 2 hours, I guess, at the end of the day. I've kind of worked well with that. 2 hours, get good ones.
And you need good internet and you need good storage.
Yeah. Kind of, yeah. Internet is fine because you don't really need internet for the media because it's all on my SD card on a camera.
So you do internal storage until we have to upload it to the guests, and then we AirPlay it. And that's when it gets tricky towards the end of the charter when everyone loved it, and then everyone wanted a copy of it, and it's like, what's up, emails, airdrops. We just threw everything at it, didn't we?
Yeah, they loved it. I was super stoked at the outcome. They watched it twice actually.
Yeah. And then the next day, because we had 400 pictures, I think. A lot. So the next day we put the slideshow on in the morning for breakfast, and that was really, they really enjoyed that just as much.
That made me feel like
They loved it.
Yeah.
They were like so close to the TV, just like, oh my God, there's Kennedy.
Yeah.
She's going crazy.
yeah.
And I do see a crew is a big part of it. Like you were in there, Zara. I mean, the crew is such a huge part of these, experiences we put together for the clients. With the RC stories, how do you see kind of boss on, boss off with RC stories? Because you're creating something really special. How many followers now?
Nearly 1,100.
It's huge in less than 3.5 months.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, pretty cool. I loved it, and you've had the freedom to kind of create your own ideology and idea.
Yeah, it's developed into a really cool, what we created.
And what's the best part of it? What have you found that you've enjoyed the most in that journey?
Before Unbridled, I was a very private person, private Instagram, not really sharing a lot of my life out there except to my friends.
Yeah.
So it took a while to become comfortable, but now I've loved so much that I can just flip around a camera anytime, be like, hey, we're doing this. And it's just so unserious, on charter there when we were seeing the glaciers.
Yeah.
I sprinted out. I was like, oh my God, guys, you have to check this out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, the same. I think that's what's unique with Unbridled is we're not, all of us are quite private people. I didn't use Instagram until a year and a half ago. I had 3 posts or something, and now I really enjoy it. And I enjoy, for me, it's when people reach out and they say, oh, thanks for sharing that, or, the captain's chats or something, or a junior crew, got a question. That's cool for me, because a lot of people have reached out to you two or reached out to me asking about Marsha and Zara, it's cool. It's inspirational to people, I think.
Yeah. I think we've had so many people asking us if they can join the boat or sending out. Let's go eat.
And it's so funny, we actually get so many DMs that he's responsible for that. And
we have you're the DM, baby. It's tough, isn't it? I think it's wonderful network. I think the more people I think it's the future of branding and personalities, and also from my perspective, what I've seen it do is the career you now have got an identity that goes beyond a resume and a bit of paper.
Yeah, for sure. And you can actually see our personalities and
Yeah.
who we are as people.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's really important.
Yeah. And equipment. Talk about equipment then, Marshall.
So I've got a.
So this is your personal equipment.
Yeah.
We do have to eventually get one for the yacht,
Yeah.
But this is what you're using.
Yeah, I don't mind using my own things because it's my stuff. I'm comfortable with it. But this is a Sony S7 IV mirrorless camera. It's the best mirrorless camera brand in the world.
It's sponsored by Sony.
Yeah. Pretty standard lens. I got it with the camera. 24-70. It's
24-70.
24-70 mil. Yeah.
Millimeter. Okay.
Yeah.
That's the lens.
Yeah. So that's
Who's making it? I work on a bridge and I can do radars and stuff.
Yeah. So that's kind of that's the only lens I have, and I've actually realized since Zach, our chief officer, came on board, and he has a bunch of lenses, and I've realized how important lenses actually are, especially for taking pictures of interior of unbridled and stuff like that, where you kind of want a wide lens, where this you can't really get everything in. Or for us in Alaska, he has a long lens over there.
So the 24-70 is like a standard lens, and then what is it? What's the other type of lens?
So yeah, so
you'd have 3 lenses. What would you have?
I would want like a wide lens, like a 16 millimeter, or 16-30, and this one, which is good mid range, and then a telephoto lens, which is like 200 to 600.
That's that one.
Yeah.
The camouflage one, ready for the bears.
Yeah, that sucks.
And what's that?
That's 200 to 600. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so it gets super close.
That's for zooming in on the animals and looking at the breath of the bear. Or
Yeah, but we've also got this, which has been super handy for getting up close to the bears and stuff. It's our new drone that DJI
ultimate crisps predators.
Yeah, I feel like a little boy. Yeah, in a kid in the candy store.
Because some of the pictures of those glaciers were National Geographic.
Yeah, that's definitely thanks to this awesome thing.
So introduce that. You got a name for it yet? Like Bumblebee? I don't know. Photographer, ship, videographer.
I did think about that this morning, but I don't want to ruin it just yet. It's not ruin it, but it's nice and big. Yeah. But this is a DJI Mavic 4 Pro over there. But this is the bottom. Yeah, battery at the bottom is not in yet, but there's a bunch of sensors over here. These are essentially just cameras as well on the top and bottom, just to make sure you don't crash.
Okay.
And there's 3 cameras in the front, one wide, one mid-range, like I just said, and one telephoto, which is really nice for getting super close to things.
So a lot of the success of this, because for me, it was always just take a camera, take some pictures, all crew try and take guest pictures. It's how it evolved 20 years ago, just take pictures and try and make a video.
Yeah.
And now you're like, not even pictures.
Yeah.
So you don't do pictures on your guest videos, correct?
No, because, it just takes away, I guess, from the flow of the video.
The artist here, the artist.
Yeah, this Cap wanted me to put some pics in the video.
Well, I had a good picture I like.
Yeah.
I had a video. I did the...
Yeah. Nice, that's a nice slideshow, but slideshows and videos are...
Okay.
Yeah, it just takes away from the flow, and I don't know. They have their pictures and they can look at it then their time and their slideshow.
Okay, so the key is the time to edit. The key is equipment. Whether it's your own or the vessels, you need to invest in good equipment.
Yes.
And then trying to find, like one of the questions here was trying to find the story of the charter. And you're saying you just slowly work with them on arrival, ignore the captain a little bit.
Marshall loves the story.
Yeah. The story of it.
Yeah.
That's what is attractive. Like I was looking at it and I gave you my feedback. He's, yes, thank you, Captain. It's a wonderful shoot.
I remember Marshall coming to me and he's like, Cat wants me to put the bear video as the first video.
Yeah.
And he's like, what?
Yeah. Advice as captains, it's not we're not experts in this. We stick to the crew development and the environmental sustainability and the safe navigation of the ship. I think too many times captains try to control so many aspects of a yacht.
Yeah.
And it's not our skill set.
Yeah. I mean, it's nice to get some opinion stuff, but yeah, I mean, what I told you was what I told you was like,
I'll consider it.
But also that's for these videos. I like tell a story and kind of take them on a journey. Like it doesn't need to start off with a bang if it's like a formative video. If it's their experience that they went to Alaska and experienced Alaska, and they went on a journey here, and I kind of want to take them on that same journey in the video, like for the charter,
the flow.
Yeah, it started all slow on the charter. Like we didn't do much. Start. It was rating, it evolved, and then the end was awesome. Saw glaciers.
Head to Cot right up quarter mile from a glacier with little pups or seals there, seal pups, and then killer whales as you come out, then humpback whales, and it's a rich environment here. I mean, some unreal, being real. And then our sea stories. What are you going for? What's the latest goal? Or what are you kind of looking for content wise, or can I help in any way?
I mean, now it's kind of just like posting, like I'll just be cleaning a cabin and then you're like, wow, that's a great idea. Like when you do that, I actually was on TikTok earlier. I see.
Send it to me.
And I sent Marshall like a really funny video. It's really great to do. So it's like now they just randomly pop up. I'm doing less of like the planned, heavy edited videos and more just
absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely. Oh, they can find you. We usually only go about 10, 15 minutes. We've gone on a little bit here. But is there any kind of final things that you'd like to say either to younger self or crew looking at this or people kind of considering doing videos for the boat or presenting to them?
That's a good question.
My advice, the crew looking at doing it, is know your worth and add your taxes. So if you're doing it, do not burden yourself without a conversation with the captain regarding what are my roles and responsibilities. I love those. And how can we allocate time?
I think
that's my tip.
I think that's
otherwise you burn out.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's definitely important for all the crew and captains and your everyone above you to understand that this stuff does take time and it's a process, and often Dan will give me galleries, but when I'm not helping out with something or I'm taking too long editing, how does it take that long to use?
Well, you've also got the Stu's calls when there's a great picture of food or something going out. I guess all of a sudden, Marshall's on the tender, quarter mile away. It's like, Marshall, come to the galley. And you're like, well, I can't exactly. So we have Zach here who does great photos as well. We have Emo who does great photos. So, it's a team effort, really.
And to the Insta people, don't take yourself too seriously and just be yourself because people will meet you in person. And if you aren't yourself on Instagram and you're just completely different, it's just it's not gonna add up.
It'd be great. My kids love it, and the kids' friends love it. That's your dad. Right, that's how you. Good or bad, that's how you're gonna get it. Anyway, this is awesome. This is live. We will get back to it. We've got a busy day in Juno. It is pouring with rain today. Hopefully it clears up and we get going for another trip here and see some more glaciers. What was your best part of the last trip? Sitka to Juno.
I have to say glacier when we saw the big.
We couldn't get to the first one. We couldn't get to Tracy Ann's house, so we went to Endicott.
It was just I've never seen something like that in my life. It was the blue ice.
And the boat was rocking. It carved and the boat started rocking and it's time to get out of here.
Especially the things you see on Nacho and whatever. And all of a sudden you're I
could have stayed all day, I think. Next time I think we go up there longer and maybe they'll get some lunch there or something.
I agree.
I like the seal pups. For some reason, the seal pups sitting on the ice. Every time you go past, they fall in. So it was a little game I had. Try and go so slow that it didn't go in, so the guests could see them. Anyway, at our sea stories, this is Motor Yacht Unbridled. Really honoured. Thank you very much. We'll end the stream now. If you need anything, let us know or DM us and Marshall will respond.
Or maybe.
And we may do another one with Zara in terms of editing, maybe. Because I don't know how to do what you do. I've asked Zara a lot of times, and Zara's like, no worries, Cap. Here you go. You go. And I'm like,
he tries.
The hook thing I'm trying to figure out now. And Marshall shut me down with my book idea. Anyway, have fun, be blessed, safe seas. Look after yourselves, please.
Thank you.
Peace, love, happiness.